I'm making this video diary to document what I think is going to be a very difficult period for me and for Chickpea. And I hope that we come out the other side better for it. I was playing fetch with Chickpea today in the yard, and she collapsed and just let out a scream. And as I was running over to her, my first thought was like an ACL tear or something like that in the knee, and maybe a broken leg or a dislocation, or maybe best case just a sprain. And by the time I got to her, she didn't seem like she was in pain anymore, but her back left leg was just sticking kind of straight out. At that point, Chris came out and she called our vet. And I began to just slowly palpate Chickpea's leg to see if I could find what happened. And she didn't seem to be in pain anywhere. I could move the leg around. I started to gently move it and it seemed to move fine. She didn't show any discomfort, but she just couldn't move her leg. So after some tests at the vet, we're fairly confident that this is basically what's known as a spinal embolism, or FCE, and that stands for fibro something embolism. This is so new. It's been about 6 hours since this happened, so this is so new I don't really know how to pronounce the word, but it was pretty stressful to see your dog just collapse like that in pain. And Chickpea's just coming out of a sedative, so she's a little discombobulated. They had to use a sedative to get some x-rays at the vet. So when I came home, I started to do some research on this, and it looks like a lot of people have been able to rehab their dog from this. I think a timeline, most kind of common timeline I saw was maybe 3 months, and the dog can walk again. Most will at least partially recover. They could walk. Chickpea may never fully recover to the point where she's running around like she was. But I think a really fair and realistic and optimistic goal is I just want to go on walks with my dog again. That's all. And whatever it takes to fix this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to start rehab. Essentially, we can start right away. The information that I've looked at seems like I can start some handling. And you want to handle the paw and the tissue, the skin between the toes, and you want to press just firm enough to elicit sort of this automatic pull away response, and that is going to help start those signals back up from the spinal injury, so that her leg, basically, she can start to communicate with her leg again. And I can do that. She's going to be on rest for a couple of weeks, so very basic, just out to go to the bathroom and just resting. And then I think, again, a common timeline I saw was around 3 to 4 weeks, starting basically physiotherapy at that point. Although I can probably start some physio in terms of just mobility, moving the joint around and stretching her leg back and forth. I can start that fairly soon. And we've got a harness that we have been taking her out with. And at least that way we can support her and she can still keep using her front legs and the back leg. Her back right leg to me seems a bit weak, but she can put weight on it on her own. The other leg just sort of drags. Well, P, we got a bit of a journey ahead of us, and I'm up for the challenge. Okay, so I took a short video yesterday we're not even 24 hours. I'd say we're like 16 hours from when it happened. I spoke with the vet this morning, and they said that rehab has to start immediately. So we're basically getting Chickpea up and moving. To get her out to the backyard to go to the bathroom, there's some stairs, so I have been carrying her down the stairs. I just don't want her yet going up and down the stairs, but we'll see. I just wanted to take a video and show where we're starting from and then where we're going to get to, because I'm going to do everything I can to get this dog back. Okay, P, let's go. Up you go. And we have ordered a couple of actual slings that we can use, but for now, the towel will have to do. And you can see her rear left leg. Yeah, that's just a soft peek. Her rear left leg is essentially paralyzed. It's dragging. Come on, Pete. Good girl. I have tried already today to put, if I put her leg in position and take some of the pressure off, I've actually been able to lift up this leg, and she can balance herself at least, so that's a good sign. She does have feeling in this leg, so that's also a really good sign for being able to recover from this pull. All right, baby girl, let's go. Up and over. Okay, baby. Up we go. Oh. She's definitely been very confused trying to go to the bathroom because somebody's holding on to her hind legs, but it is what it is. Okay, here we go. And it's certainly sad to see this in your dog, but from everything I've researched, I think we can help her recover from this and at least get her back to walking. Whether she fully recovers and can run and play again, we don't know, but we're going to take it step by step, and I think let's just worry about getting her walking on her own again. Hope it's big enough for her. What do you think of Chickpea's new bed now?
It's huge.
Really? Doesn't look that big. How about you, P? You can look out the window now all day. All right, it's time for Chickpea's first therapy appointment here at SOAR Veterinarian Services, and they essentially just rehab dogs from injuries, and these are going to be the experts that will know what to do.
You are a complete goofball. Has she been wagging her tail?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Not so much the first day, but
Okay.
a lot of that was because they had to sedate her at the vet, so she was not herself
Not happy.
for the first day. She wouldn't even
No.
eat her dinner that night. She was
You're
just
getting
crying.
this all over your face.
She's strong. Like, I think there's a lot that we can do to work on reactivating things.
Day 21, and we're up for Thanksgiving weekend in Ottawa. And as you can see, Chickpea can walk unassisted. No bungee cord on the foot anymore, so she's definitely making progress, but we're still keeping walks short and still going through all her physio, but certainly promising for 3 weeks after the injury. Well, we are just over 3 weeks since Chickpea suffered the spinal stroke and found her left hind leg paralyzed. And I could not be happier with how she's done. And the vets over at the physio place over at SOAR, they also could not be happier with how she's doing. And as you've seen, over 3 weeks, she's come a long way. She can walk without my support. Now, I've still got the harness on her with my hand on the handles just in case like her leg buckles, but she can walk. Very short walks. We're talking about 10 to 15 minutes now, and very slow and controlled, but she's doing great. Physio has added a number of exercises for us to keep going with this week. And as you can see, we've got her little physio corner laid out here. We've got her physio board so that Chris and I stay on the same page as to what we should be working on. Under Chickpea's new bed on top of her old bed, you can see all of her physio stuff is under here. Everything we need, the massager, and all the little stuff that we've been using. We've got a scale over here because one of the first things we did was cut back on her food. So if she's not doing the same amount of exercise, then she certainly doesn't need the same caloric intake. And I think that's something most owners would not think about, is to reduce their dog's food. But if you don't, they're going to start gaining weight. And if they start gaining weight when they're also trying to rehab an injury, that just doesn't make sense. It's just going to make things harder. So we wanted to make sure that Chickpea stays her nice lean self and we give her the best chance of getting through this. And I want to talk briefly in this video about things that we've done that I think have really helped Chickpea recover faster, and things that you might want to think about just for the future in case something ever happens to your dog, or maybe you've stumbled across this video because your dog has suffered a spinal stroke, FCE, and you're stressed about how your dog's going to do. So basic obedience has been crucial to her success. The vet initially sent us home with instructions for crate rest, but because our dogs are trained on a place command, which essentially just means go to your bed and just stay on your bed. Chickpea's certainly doing a lot more place work than she normally would, but it's meant that she doesn't have to spend time in a crate. And the whole point of that is to keep control of your dog's movements so they don't do something spastic and like injure themselves or make things worse. So we did construct her a new bed that's temporary, so she can see out the window while she's recovering, and it's been nice for her, but she will just stay on her bed. So we've been able to control her movements all day unless we're taking her out under controlled circumstances, and she hasn't had to spend any time in the crate, which is wonderful. The other thing is just a good leash walk. Having a nice controlled leash walk has been like essential for everybody that likes to just let their dog free roam on the end of a retractable leash. Hey man, that's cool. You do your thing, but I don't know how you would rehab a dog if your dog's trying to run to the end of a retractable leash all over the place with an injury. Like, I don't know how you would get through that. So the fact that I can tell her to heel and she will walk at my side in a controlled way at a controlled pace has been absolutely essential for making sure that she doesn't re-injure the leg. She can go upstairs now under my control. Downstairs, I still put a lot of tension on the handles and make sure she's going down under my control, but she can walk upstairs on her own. She can walk on her own now, which is great. She doesn't have the little bungee anymore. And we're just making sure that she progresses slowly. One of the other things they've added is the vets have asked me if she can walk backwards, and that is something she has been trained to do. So we've started the reverse heel, and it's looking pretty sloppy because her leg just doesn't want to work in reverse as it does going forward. But that's the reason why they've asked us to add this into the mix of exercises that we're doing, is to get her leg moving in a different way and just continue to help the nervous system retrain that leg. Stand stays with her front paws up on something, so it adds more weight to the hind legs, and she already knows how to do a stand stay. And I mean, if your dog doesn't know how to do a stand stay, I'm sure you can just hold them in that position, but it's just been so nice that I can just instruct Chickpea what to do, because so much of this basic obedience applies to what we're doing rehabbing her from FCE right now. So I think all of that stuff is very crucial. Make sure that you're monitoring your dog's diet if they get an injury and they're not exercising as much, so they don't put on extra weight and make things more difficult. Having some real basic obedience is going to go a long way into helping make sure that your dog doesn't do anything and remains under control until they're healthy enough to resume regular activities. So all of that has been crucial. I will continue to post some update videos as we go along, but I thought, 3 weeks in, not necessarily the time frame, but the fact that she is walking at least unassisted. Yes, I still have the harness on just in case, like my hand's right there on the handle, but I'm not actually doing anything. She's doing it all on her own. So I thought this was a good time to sort of put at least somewhat of a video out, so that if you've stumbled across this because your dog has suffered from FCE, you can at least get an idea of what to expect, and maybe some of these tips will help you and your dog's recovery. So that's about all I have to say for now. I will post something in a month or so, but at this point, I think it's just building her up, having her walk a little bit further, doing some of these exercises longer, raising the bar on, her little hurdles outside, so that she's just improving as we go along, and I'm continuing to challenge her as she becomes ready for more. All right, hopefully this helps if you've stumbled across it, because this is what's happened to your dog, and just know there's hope, and most dogs can recover fully, but it's going to be a process. You're going to have to dedicate some time to your dog. It's going to take more time out of your day for a little while as you get your dog healthy, but they can come back. And I wish I had seen a video like this the first day it happened. It would have given me hope. Because at that point we thought maybe Chickpea would never walk again, and to be only 3 weeks down the road and she's walking again. Oh, I can't tell you the relief I feel and how happy I am. You did great, P. Hey, you're doing great, baby girl. All right. Hopefully you don't have to go through this, but if you do, there's hope.